Good afternoon and good evening. Welcome to Channel 44 Business News. I'm Mercy Gashego Sembatia to bring you this afternoon's business news together with Livingstone Kawesi for sign language interpretation and translation. Well, in this segment, we are bringing you both local and international news. In our local news today, women play an important role in society as a whole, and especially in small businesses, yet they often have less access to technology and digital solutions. Women entrepreneurs are not able to tap into the benefits of digitalization and expand their market base or embrace opportunities presented by the digital age. However, over the years, civil society organizations like Siatini Uganda has been working towards influencing for a supportive policy ecosystem for micro, small and medium standards to increase their competitiveness both in the local and regional markets. Speaking in the meeting of women entrepreneurship under the theme Digital Platforms and Solutions for Growth and Competitiveness of Women, led by business women in business, have admitted that most women lack the knowledge of operating under digital age, yet it's the way to go for them to penetrate the market as well as helping them to grow their businesses. Women also claim that they require more training through the various government agencies like Uganda Revenue Authority, Uganda Registration Services Bureau, and other entities for them to be able to actively run business via digital. And in other challenges that women encounter in using digital online business is the low levels of education and literacy that many women in the business cannot be able to access the platform for them to effectively do their business. Women also think that they can adopt with the digital business system, but they need more interventions in form of support from government and the private sector. However, in his reaction to the intervention that the government has done to encourage digital platform business among women, Mr. Court Rokelo Richard, the Assistant Commissioner External Trade in the Ministry of Trade, revealed that the government has always encouraged business entrepreneurs to use internet, saying all business transactions can be done online, and say this online business requires a law that can help businessmen to be safe with their businesses. Here is more with Kato Dennis.
Chili sauce and Kim's natural chili oil. Today we are gathered here and we are discussing issues of the digital space and the women in business. You find that we are in an era where women in business must engage in the digital space. We must be able to promote and transact our businesses through the various platforms of social media, which include Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, Instagram, and TikTok. But the issue is that how do we sail through this digital space when most of us, women in business, lack the knowledge of operating in the digital space? And it's a good platform for us to engage in. It's a platform that will create awareness for our businesses. It is a platform that will increase the sources of our incomes. But we are challenged in the lack of knowledge, and has been said that people shall die for lack of knowledge. We are failing to progress. We are failing to reach market penetration because most of us women in business do not know how to utilize the digital space and all the tools that are related with the digital space to ensure that our businesses grow. As well, it's not only about social media, but it also includes partnering with all the institutions that progress our businesses. There are institutions like Uganda Revenue Authority, there are institutions like URSB, which is the Uganda Registration Services Bureau, and all the supermarkets and other entities that we use require the knowledge of digital space, digital transactions. It is that we all go through, and this is interfering in the progress of our businesses. So sensitization and also application of the knowledge that we get is a challenge that women in business are facing today. grow? How can women businesses improve? How can women businesses be simplified? And one of these things is continuous sensitization.
Challenges we have today as a country is that we have low levels of education and literacy. So most of the women are not able to access the digital platforms and the digital tools that can enable them to manage and run their businesses efficiently. Now, the other challenges we have is that most of the programs we have are pro-SME, but the SMEs are not broken down for programs to be able to target each of the categories that we have in the SME bracket. So we have the micro enterprises, we have the small enterprises, and then we have the medium-sized enterprises. But they are different in terms of management, in terms of asset base, and in terms of the number of employees that they have as a business. So we need to have digital programs that can be able to sufficiently serve the needs of the different brackets in the SME segment.
We'll talk more about it. How do you get all your goods cleared electronically online without having to go through all the different agencies that you need to get your goods cleared? So you can get the information, you can get all the documentation done without yet moving. So you're cutting a lot of time, you're cutting a lot of cost, and you're actually gaining in terms of competitiveness. Because all these costs have serious bearing on the amount of money that you're going to charge for your products in terms of the selling price, eventual selling price. On a base fact, you can track where your goods has reached. And if you buy a commodity from anywhere using internet, you can tell exactly, precisely where the good has reached and how long it will take to reach you. So those two platforms are very critical. But certainly you need the regulatory and the policy framework in place. And I think other collaborating agencies like NITA Uganda, the Ministry of ICT, are doing quite a commendable job in ensuring that they build that confidence that you are safe trading online and that you are protected, your information and data as you do your business is protected. And I think that is very important. I think a lot of you, I don't need to say.
Well, that is it from our local news, business news segment, Empowering Women. It's very paramount. We thank the President of Uganda for empowering the women of Uganda. And also we have great examples to look up to, like Pastor Jessica Kayanja, great woman entrepreneur, a person who is a very great businesswoman and a role model to look up to. So it's very important that women get involved in business to develop themselves and to raise a generation that is after making their lives better. Moving on into our international business news, Wall Street investors are reaching for their neck braces in preparation for yet another volatile swing in stock markets, a surging US dollar. The greenback, which is not just the dominant global currency but also the key variable affecting global economic conditions, according to the New York Federal Reserve, reached a 20-year high last year after the Fed turned hawkish with its aggressive rate hikes. Since then, inflation seems to have softened, pushing the dollar down, but in recent weeks, as a slew of economic data has shown, the Fed's inflation battle is far from over. The currency soared by about 4% from its recent lows and now sits near a 7-week high. Investors are stressing about the sudden rebound since a stronger dollar means American-made products become more expensive for foreign buyers, overseas revenue decreases in value, and global trade weakens. Multinational companies naturally aren't thrilled about any of this, and around 30% of all S&P 500 companies' revenue is earned in markets outside the U.S., according to Quincy Crosby, the chief global strategist for LPL Financial. And in Hong Kong, the United States yesterday added 2 subsidiaries of Chinese genetics company BGI to a trade blacklist over allegations it conducted genetic analysis and surveillance activities for Beijing, which Washington says was used to repress ethnic minorities in China. The U.S. Department of Commerce, which oversees export controls, said in a statement that BGI Research and BGI Tech Solutions in Hong Kong presents a significant risk of diversion to China's military programs. In 2020, the U.S. Department of Commerce added 2 other BGI affiliates, Xinjiang Silk Road BGI and Beijing Luhui BGI, to the trade blacklist over the alleged involvement in human rights abuses against Uyghur and other mainly Muslim minorities in China's far western region of Xinjiang. BGI Group issued a statement at the time denying the allegations, saying it does not engage in unethical practices and does not provide gene technology for the surveillance of Uyghurs. And in New York, a FedEx plane was only about 150 feet off the ground when its pilots realized a Southwest jet was in the process of taking off on the same runway and aborted its landing to avoid a potentially catastrophic fatal accident last month, according to federal safety investigators. The report was from National Transportation Safety Board, which looks into crashes and near crashes in the transportation industry. As is typical of a preliminary report such as this, the report did not assess any fault for the near miss. The incident occurred early on February the 4th at the International Airport in Austin, Texas. The press has previously reported the 2 planes came within 100 feet of one another based on data from Flightradar 24. Flightradar 24 and the NTSB's initial findings confirmed earlier reports that it was the FedEx pilot, not the air traffic controllers, who detected the problem and told the Southwest plane to abort its takeoff. The chairwoman, Jennifer Homendy, previously told the press she believes the 2 planes came within 100 feet or less. Yesterday's report said the NTSB is still analyzing data from the cockpit recorders and other information and has not determined their closest proximity. Exxon was aware of multiple complaints of hangman's nooses on display at its Baton Rouge, Louisiana complex, but the oil company failed to properly investigate the incidents or take action to prevent them from happening again, which they did according to a lawsuit filed yesterday by the U.S. Equal Employment Opportunity Commission. The EEOC alleges that in January 2020, a black employee at ExxonMobil's Baton Rouge chemical plant found a noose at his worksite and reported it to the company. At that time, Exxon was aware of 3 other nooses that had been displayed on the campus, which includes a chemical plant and a nearby refinery. The company has failed to investigate each event and did not do enough to prevent further incidents, according to the allegations from the EEOC. The EEOC said Exxon violated the law because of its lack of proper action. The commission said Exxon created a racially hostile work environment for employees. And elsewhere, Deputy Attorney General Lisa Monaco announced a new effort by the Justice Department yesterday to target corporate sanctions evasion and other financial crimes that implicate national security. To address the increasing intersection of corporate crime and national security, the department yesterday announced significant restructuring and resource commitments within the National Security Division. Companies are on the front lines of yesterday's geopolitical and national security challenges, according to Monaco at the American Bar Association National Institute on White-Collar Crime yesterday. The National Security Division will also issue guidelines to the U.S. Commerce and Treasury Departments on what prosecutors expect from them to assist with national security-related compliance enforcement. In addition, The Department of Justice will make a substantial investment in the department's bank integrity unit in the criminal division's money laundering and asset recovery section, according to Monaco, to help investigate and prosecute international sanctions violations. And moving on, following an issue with a battery fire during testing, Ford will restart production of its popular F-150 Lightning electric pickup on Monday, March the 13th, according to an announcement by the company yesterday. By then, the truck will have been out of production for about a month. During pre-delivery inspections, one of the trucks caught fire, according to Ford, and the company halted production and deliveries of the F-150. The company then began an investigation along with its battery supplier SK On into the cause of the problem, according to Ford spokesperson Emma Berg, who wrote an email following the initial announcement of the stoppage. Once the issue was figured out, a battery cell production restarted on February the 20th, and in the coming days, the new battery cells will be assembled into the battery packs that Ford uses to build the trucks. Ford has not yet provided any information about what the specific issue actually was, but Berg did say it was not thought to be a problem for any trucks already owned and being used by customers. Ford has sold 18,000 Lightning pickups since production started in the spring of 2022. Ford had nearly 200,000 reservations for the truck by the end of 2021 when the reservation system was closed. Currently, the best seller in the category, the Lightning, will face intense competition. Later this year, GM begins production of the Chevrolet Silverado AV, which will be joined early next year by its corporate sibling, the GMC Sierra EV. And in India, Indian multi-billionaire Gautam Adani's embattled business empire says it has secured $1.87 billion on investment from a US-based asset management firm. Florida-headquartered GQG Partners has brought shares in 4 of the group's company, according to Adani. It marks the first major investment made public by the firm since it was accused of engaging in stock market manipulation and financial fraud by short seller Hindenburg Research. Adani Group has denied the allegations. Adani Group's 7 stock market listed companies had an estimated $135 billion wiped off their value since Hindenburg Research report was published on the 24th of January. And finally, mortgage rates shot up to the 4th consecutive week as inflation concerns remain. The 30-year fixed rate mortgage averaged 6.65% in the week ending March 2nd, up from 6.5% the week before, according to data from Freddie Mac released yesterday. A year ago, a 30-year fixed rate was 3.76%. Rates had been trending downward after hitting 7.08% in November, but are now climbing again. About half a percentage point in a month, and robust economic data continues to suggest the Federal Reserve is not done in its battle to cool the U.S. economy and will likely continue hiking its benchmark lending rate. The lower rates in January brought buyers back into the market, according to Cater. And now that the rates are moving up, affordability is hindered and making it difficult for potential buyers to act, particularly for repeat buyers with existing mortgages at less than half of the current rates. Well, that brings us to the end of this evening's news bulletin, business news. Thank you for watching Channel 44. Well, I remind you that today is Friday. We are having a miracle overnight here at the Miracle Center Cathedral. Pastor Robert Kayanja is ready for whoever will come. And the presence of God is always strong and there to minister to each one of us. Come expecting a miracle. Come expecting a breakthrough. Come expecting a word from the Lord tonight. You will not remain the same. same again. It's a whole night of praise and worship. It's a whole night of prayer. It's a whole night of dream interpretation and very many other encounters with the Holy Spirit. I urge you to come. Do not miss. Do not be lied to by the weather that is going to be cold. Just come expecting the best from our Heavenly Father that will take you into throughout the whole week. And also, starting tomorrow, there's going to be a crusade in Juba, South Sudan. Therefore, we urge all people of South Sudan to be expectant. Bring the sick, bring the lame, bring all those that need the hand of God upon their lives. Pastor Robert Kayanja will be ministering there for 3 consecutive days, and South Sudan will not remain the same again. In the same spirit, next week on Wednesday, our mother, Pastor Jessica Kayanja, will be hosting a women's prayer day where we will be pulling down altars. This is not only for women, but also men. Come expecting a miracle. Come desiring to a change for your family, for your children, and for yourself. And I assure you, your life will not remain the same again. Come ready to pray. Come fasted. Come expecting a miracle. Come expecting a breakthrough. We have experienced this and our lives have not remained the same again. Well, as I sign out, I remind you where you can find us on the different digital platforms. That is on DSTV, channel 297, on GoTV 812, on Star Times 290, Zuku TV 056, Azam TV 152, free to air channel 12, and on different mobile apps. We are on your TV from mobile, Airtel TV, all for free. You just have to load data and you'll have to find channel 44 among the channels that are displayed. Do not be limited by home and TV alone. And then also on StarTimes satellite, we are on channel 468. Go by and enjoy the best name in television. The Big Tunes program is up next with DJ Kush and DJ Nick D. Enjoy the rest of the viewing and enjoy your weekend.